So these new people are getting on my nerves. I miss the old cast of Black Ink crew. Like, where's the dude? What was his name? Where's the guy with no teeth and his wife? I miss them. Let's get into this review. We open up at 125th, and Miss Kitty is going on and on about how raggedy 113th is and how it doesn't represent C's brand. And I'm just like, how do you know that? You just got there. See, this is why you're probably going to get beat up the entire season, because you already come in with this preconceived notion and you haven't taken the time to get to know anyone. So as Miss Kitty continues to hate on 113th, she tells C's about the stripper pole, and C's is just like a deer stuck in headlights because he knows about the stripper pole, but he knows that Duchess doesn't know. So Duchess just goes off as soon as she hears about the stripper pole because she's sitting there hating and being spiteful, just like Duchess. And so C's is just acting like, you know, like he doesn't know what's going on. And so then Duchess says this, which is so disgusting and gross. Big Mama don't like it, so what is Big Daddy gonna do? And then C's like, Big Daddy gonna handle it, and then I vomited in my mouth. We head on down to 113th, and young Bay is there. She gets a call from her girlfriend, and she tells her that, what's her name, Stacy or Stephanie? I'll figure it out later. The Puerto Rican girl was talking about her and calling her all types of hoes or whatever and names, and young Bae gets really upset, and she says that she's concerned about what she's going to do because she has an anger problem. Listen, honey, you are a grown adult. That is not an excuse for you to just be violent and ridiculous to people. And anger and violence is not a Black Ink trait, and I kind of feel offended by that she thinks that this is like that this is what is okay to do at Black Ink. You know what I mean? Because I feel like this is her storyline, that she's coming in on having an anger problem, but she's in this Black community. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section if you feel like that, because I feel like there's this underlying thing of this is why I am accepted or comfortable around the Black community, because I'm a violent person. I feel like she gives that off for me. Like, especially through her story, and I'm just like, ooh, young Bae, I don't know if I'm a fan of you. And we head on over to Sky's place, and Donna is still there, and Sky is just over it. Donna is taking up space, and she's being the house guest that stayed just a bit too long. And I feel for the both of them, because I've been in situations where I've had to sleep on somebody's couch, or, you know, I didn't have housing, and it was just, you feel like crap, you know what I mean? Especially when you're an adult, you feel like crap because you need help and you hate being in this situation. You're never quite comfortable. But I feel like Donna got really comfortable. Like, she was wearing Sky's robe and everything, and I'm like, I never got that comfortable in those situations. I always felt like I was in the way. But then I've been on a Sky side where you are letting somebody stay and they stay too long and they're your friend and you feel bad, but you also want your space back. So I feel for the both of them. But again, like I said last video, I love this friendship that is budding between the two of them. I like them better as friends. I hated them as enemies. And I really like this adult version of Sky. Like, she just seems to be so mature this season and still funny, still herself, but just a mature and wiser and more refined Sky. And I really, really like that. But it seems like next episode she gonna go way back. We'll see. Back at 113th, Bae is there stewing about the things that her friend, aka intern on the set, called her and said that Tiffany was saying, Tiffany is her name, I found it out, was saying some negative things about her, and she's telling everybody about it. Then Tiffany comes in and she just walks into a firing squad, and I felt so bad for her because she had no idea what was going on. And I honestly believe that she didn't say anything, because the way that she was looking and responding to young Bae when she was saying that, you know, her friend told her that she was saying all these things, she was honestly shocked and caught off guard. I didn't get like that she was somebody who was lying. She was like, if I did say it, I'm sorry. I don't remember. I don't know. I just don't feel like Tiffany said it. I feel like this was a fake storyline. And it just seems ugly. You know what I mean? To like make some type of drama out of nothing. There's so much going on at Black Ink that you don't need to make nothing up. That's why I got a problem with these new people. I feel like they are making up drama so that they can try to match the the dedicated cast members of this show, and it's just like, come in and be real and open up your lives to us and you will be fine. That's why Black Ink is so successful, because they are the real deal. But I feel like Young Bae is so forced, and this is why Teddy, tries to be a manager, takes Tiffany outside to discuss it. Young Bae comes out there and starts fighting her. And I was just like, it never should have got to it. It was no build up to get to that point. And I feel like, again, she is putting it on for the cameras. She's probably a fan of the show and was just like, this is what I have to do to like be important or make it big on Black Ink. And she's coming in and she's doing too much, because then they break the both of them up. Tiffany is still just like, I never said anything about you. That's why I believe her, because instead of being angry, she's like shocked, like, what just happened? I never said anything, so I believe her. Then Young Bae goes in the back and starts tearing up the place, and then we get this whole thing about how she has an anger problem. You are a grown woman, and you have got to stop that. Ain't nobody gonna deal with that. You got the right one with that Tiffany, but I guarantee you won't buck up at Sky, because Sky will kick you behind. Even the refined Sky will let you have it and mollywop you in that forehead. However, sis, I will say this: you are slaying in your confessionals. Hair, makeup, outfit, yes, Young Bae, love the confessionals. Can't stand you in regular scenes. When all of this happens, Teddy is just like awestruck. He doesn't know what to do. He is sitting there just stuck. So you know what Teddy does? Teddy, a grown man who is, I think he's a partial owner in Black Ink. I think the thing was he like used some drug money to help pay for whatever. But I feel like he got some money in this shop. Who's a business owner and a manager of the shop, just took off because he couldn't deal with it. This is how I know Teddy has been supporting himself through, or was supporting himself before Black Ink crew, through drug dealing. Because if you've ever in your life held a job, you would have been able to deal with that situation. He just walked away. Typical Teddy. Then Richard, Walt, and Nakia, Richard's girlfriend, jumped too soon, girlfriend, meet up for lunch, and Nakia is talking about the concerns that she has for Richard working at Black Ink, and she's really concerned about the partying and the atmosphere. And honey, I get it. If you love someone and they have a problem and you're concerned about the environment. However, I feel like you're doing too much, especially with the way you were talking about Black Ink, and Walt was there, and he was someone who you were speaking negatively about. I thought that he handled that very well, and you were doing too much and being extremely disrespectful. Like, you and Miss Kitty, y'all probably are best buddies, because the idea that you have a Black Ink is probably just what you got from the editing room floor. You need to actually be around those people and learn who they are, and stop being groupies of the show who want to get on, because that's what it looks like. All these new people are just groupies of the show, and they finally got through casting, so now they're on and they're doing the most to make themselves relevant. Young Bae invites Tiffany out to basically apologize to her, and Tiffany comes better than me. I wouldn't have showed up at all. You know what? To be honest, I would have showed up. I would have thrown hands. Then I would have been like, now we can talk. What's going on? You know what I mean? Because what you're not going to do is pull my ebony roots out of my head, and then we just going to meet up like nothing happened. I'm going to get a couple licks in too, and then we could be even. Petty. Call it what you want to. Young Bae apologizes to Tiffany, and Tiffany accepts it. But then she goes on this whole diatribe about her abuse and how her father used to be her. And I am not saying that I don't feel bad for her, because that abuse is terrible. I am not joking about that. I am not overlooking that. It's still not an excuse for you to harm people. Like, you literally put your hands on a woman over something that you heard over the phone, which I don't even believe was real. I feel like you're just trying to earn your spot on this show, and it's just so disgusting. You know what I mean? Like, for you to just flip out on Tiffany like that for no reason whatsoever. And you guys are all grown. So if somebody calls you a hoe and you have to fight them, something is wrong with you as an adult. This is something that kids do, and then adults sit down with them and they're just like, it really wasn't that serious. But our brains have matured enough to the point where we have all of this wisdom, we have lived some life, and we know that there are certain things that are just don't deserve a reaction. And that was one of them, because you really didn't even know if she said it. While Teddy is like MIA, Sky appoints herself as the new manager of the shop, and she hires back Donna as Bianca because she wants her to hide her identity. Oh my goodness. Then it was this fake scene with her and Young Bae. Like Young Bae didn't know who she was. Like she hasn't watched this show. And I was just like, stop playing me. Y'all know that I know that these reality TV shows are fake, right? However, Black Ink Crew, in my opinion, is one of the realest ones out there. So just to have this kind of farce on this show bothers me. Anyway, Donna has this client come in that she's going to do a tattoo on. I was alarmed by this because last season we didn't really see Donna do any type of training, and that was the issue that C's was having with her, is that she wasn't doing the necessary training or work to get better. And then when he saw what she had worked on, it wasn't good enough. Like, wasn't it the problem that Donna was lazy? I realized that she was in an abusive relationship, so that's probably why she wasn't coming in. But her skill set still was just not up to par to do this tattoo. And I feel like VH1 probably put like an ad on Craigslist and paid this woman some money for her to get this horrible tattoo on her body. Listen, I want Donna to win. I really, really want her to win. But Donna, if she wants to do this, she needs to train. And personally, I don't feel like being a tattoo artist is just something you can just do, you know? I feel like you just have to be an artist, right? Aren't you supposed to be like an artist to be able to do that? I don't know. It just seems very weird. I don't feel like Donna is an artist. I haven't seen any of her work to be like, oh my goodness, that's really good. A lot of her stuff has been very elementary. You know, I think she maybe needs to find something else. Maybe start selling weaves, you know, or lace fronts, because her lace fronts look really good in the confessionals. I just don't think tattooing is for her, and I think if she wants to stay on the show, she needs to find another angle, because that cupcake tattoo, it looked like meatloaf. Real talk. It looked like a shepherd's pie. I was like, Donna, what is this? Oh, I want her to win. Richard and Nakia have a new place. Weren't they like, wait, wasn't he just talking about how he didn't have any money last week, so they were in this roach-infested apartment with like roommates? Now they have this nice remodeled apartment. On whose dime? This is the thing, right? If y'all go on Play Broke, y'all gotta stay consistent. Y'all can't just pull this new apartment out of nowhere. It looks really, really good. The outside, though, I'm like, oh, this was a remodeled apartment and probably like, you know, questionable neighborhood. Anyway, they have this really cute scene where the two of them are, you know, talking about being in love. And then Richard breaks the cuteness with asking her to kiss his foot. He's like, do you love me? Kiss my foot. That's not love. That is abuse. Any man that will ask you to kiss his crusty feet does not love you and does not deserve you, Nakia. But she kisses it, and then he proposes to her, and he talks about how much he loves her. And, oh, isn't it so cute? No, it's not. My problem with Richard is that I feel like I said it before, I feel like he is making this woman a drug. Like, Nakia is an addiction. It could have been anybody. He would have been the same way about them, which is why I honestly believe that he needs to go to rehab. He needs help. Something is not right with this guy. And then I also have a problem, like I said it before, that he has not want to mention his children. There hasn't been a scene about his kids, not a confessional about it. Nobody in Black Ink has brought it up. I'm so disgusted. You bring this woman that you just met 4 months ago, you propose her, you put her in this house, you put all your money into this woman, you change your life for this woman. And you couldn't even change your life for your seed. That's why I don't believe that this is the real deal. I think she's another drug. I also think that she is manipulating the situation. But listen, get in how you fit in. If this is going to be your come up, Nakia, use it wisely. If getting on the show, if you had to manipulate an addict, do what you gotta do, girl. So everybody is back at 113th because they have to have a meeting. However, they can't have a meeting because the lights are off because Teddy didn't pay the bill. Sky shows up and she's just like, what is going... Wait, before I go on. Discount Universe has been hooking Sky up. She has looked fabulous this season. I want to get like Sky because I love me a Discount Universe outfit. You are just... It reminds me of like a bedazzled Patra. You know what I mean? Like I'm on a romantic call and you're just a glistening and a beaming. I love Discount Universe. Go here, Sky. Sees and Duchess shows up and Sees and Duchess finds out why the shop is dark and why nobody's working. And Duchess is just sitting there just gloating and doing this, You know, that Duchess face where it's just like, I told you so. And it's just so awkward to me that you could be with someone or be engaged to someone and you are so happy and smug in their demise. You know what I mean? It just seems like she's never happy unless C's is failing. And that's so sick. You know what I mean? I'm like, you're about to pledge your life to this guy, and every time something happens to his business or concerning like a family member that he works with, you are just so happy about it. And that's an ugly trait to have. Beware, C's. I mean, I know that they're not together now, but Duchess and C's break up every season and they get back together. So I don't believe this breakup at all. C's gets everybody together in the shop with no lights, and I'm telling you, he cussed them all out. I was howling watching this scene because it just looked like a distraught black father who has just come to lay down the law on his unruly kids. Like, he was cussing all of them out. A young babe was looking in, she was raising her hand. Then the kid said something, and everybody looked at her like they was about to beat her up. She said something about, oh, I think the issue that you're having here is alcohol. And Duchess was just like, no. Sky was just like, well, this isn't a rehab, so. I was like, Nakia, shut up. Why are you here? Be quiet. So he cusses everybody out. Then I think it was Young Bae. Young Bae, you little snitch, gonna tell C's about Teddy's boom boom room. So C's goes back to the boom boom room and he has a whole fit. I was cracking up at the juxtaposition of C's going from this distraught black father who was just telling his kids, you gonna get right. This ain't gonna happen. Why are you fighting? Why are you upset with her? You are adults. To going back to his boom boom room with his camera light, having a full-blown adult temper tantrum because Teddy destroyed his office. He was like, what happened to my office? You know how C's is. He's so emotional. And I was just like, wow. In a span of seconds, you went from like this righteous leader to this big black boy having a full-on temper tantrum. This is what I love about Black Ink. It's so authentic. The main cast. After all this, C's just decides to make Duchess the manager over 113. Now, although I thought, or I still believe that making Sky the manager will be really great for her in this new season of her life, not gonna lie, Duchess gonna get that shop together. She's a smart businesswoman, so I think that was a smart move for C's to make. However, she's also bitter and nasty, and I feel like Tiffany is going to have a really hard time there because Duchess is intimidated by her looks, you know, and poor Tiffany is going to have a rough ride, as you see next week. So although I think that C's made a good business decision, I think attitude-wise and just camaraderie and just the fun of Black Ink is going to be sucked out when Duchess is at the helm, because at the end of the day, I really don't think that she wants that business to succeed without her having a check coming from it. Now, if Duchess was getting a check from Black Ink, like a real check, like as a partner, then I feel like she would be different about it. But because it's just her fiance's shop that she doesn't really care about, I just feel like she's going to do what she can, but I don't feel like she'll really put her all into it. And even what she can is going to be better than what Black Ink 113th has had, but it's just like that's not the best spirit or energy to put over that shop, especially with somebody who, in my opinion, wants it to fail. Then C's meets with Teddy, who was working out. Go ahead, sis. And he just basically expresses his disappointment. He's just like, you're my family. You're supposed to have my back. I should be able to leave, you know, my business in your hands. But at the end of the day, Teddy is just not a leader. He doesn't know how to lead. You know, some people are just followers, and that's okay. Not everybody is born a leader, and I don't think that that's a trait that Teddy has. I think that he's a worker and he's a follower, and that's not negative. It's just some people don't have that vision to lead people. And C's fires Teddy for the billionth time, and they have an emotional moment and part ways. But again, Teddy is going to get some job somewhere in Black Ink. If you've watched this show, you know that Teddy has been fired a billion times. He'll be back. He's a partner, I believe. So he's fine. Teddy is fine. He will be okay. You'll see him back at Black Ink. Question, is Teddy taking weight loss pills? I feel like he gives me that that look that, that look that when sisters in the hood are taking them weight loss pills and, certain parts of their body lose weight, but not the rest. Like the waist goes in, but the arms and the legs are still big. You know what I mean? They're always just like down 10 pounds. And I'm like, in your belly, because the arms are still fluffy. That's what Teddy is giving me. Or maybe he's wearing a waist trainer. No tea, no shade. There are men who wear waist trainers and Spanx. I've hugged a few dudes who had on some Spanx. And I was like, oh, no judgment. So next week is going to be just as messy, and I'll be there to review it. If you like what you see here, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see you next week for Black Ink Crew, whatever episode it is. Bye.